Welcome. Thank you for joining the conversation about the 19 rules for getting rich and staying rich despite Wall Street. As we move through this session and the other sessions, I'm going to ask you to go to your book for certain passages, so please have it available. If you don't have a book, you can buy one from your local bookstore, from our website, uniquereads.com, from Amazon, or wherever ebooks are sold. It comes in hardback, paperback, and ebook format. Now let's get started. What I want you to do is to go to rule number 5 on page 42. And what you have to do is get over your fear of the investment markets. A lot of people think that, gee, if I buy a stock on my own, it may go down. Yes, it might. It also might go up. But it's not going to go away if you follow a proper strategy. Okay, so get over the fact that there's going to be volatility in the marketplace. Speculation and gambling is what causes problems with the investment markets and trying to figure out what to do. Investing does not. Investing is, as I've told you several times already, it's finding a quality company with management that has the confidence and the competency to pay the owners a dividend from the profits, and then you pay a fair price for that company. That's all investing is. And then once you have it, you just hold on to it for 10 years or more. Okay? So don't worry about losing money. Your investments are going to go up and down, but eventually over time, if you follow the total return strategy, you'll have an opportunity for your investments to continue to increase over time. All right? Now go to page 45. And I want to start this rule number 6 by going to your book on page 46. You see here a picture of the investment pendulum. And let me explain each part of that investment pendulum to you. You see a top bar with the words fear and greed, and they're shaded lighter the closer to the center, and they get darker the further away from the center it goes. This top bar represents your emotions of fear and greed. Okay? The center pole holding up that top bar represents the intrinsic value of whatever investment you're looking at. And it is the same intrinsic value that you can find for either a fixed income security or a common stock or real estate. Okay? Now come down to the bottom and you see the bottom bar has the same words of fear and greed, again, shaded lighter, closer to the intrinsic value, and darker the further away you get from the intrinsic value. This bottom bar represents the market's emotions of fear and greed. All right? Now look at the pendulum ball. It swings from one side to the other, and it is based upon, the swinging is based upon the market's emotions of fear and greed. So as seen here in the photo, you have the pendulum ball over the market's fear. Go up the rod holding that ball, and you see a dollar sign and an arrow. And it's on the greed side of your emotions. When that ball swings back from the fear side and swings over to the market's greed side, the arrow and the dollar sign will swing to your fear. It's a simple, picturesque way of saying that when the market is fearful, you should be greedy. When the market is greedy, you should be fearful. Okay? Now, keep that in mind with everything you do on investing. Now let's go to page 48, rule number 7. All right. We have told you that the 19 rules has a total return strategy giving equal weight to steady cash flow from dividends and interest, as well as potential capital appreciation from the asset base. Okay? Why do we give this equal emphasis to steady cash flow? 3 reasons. 1, it cushions the volatility of the portfolio. 2, it gives you income coming in to the portfolio on a regular basis that you can use to seize whatever opportunities appear in the marketplace that were not something that was planned. All right? And third, and the most important reason why, is the steady cash flow builds the foundation for your average annual investment return, AAIR, to increase. Now let me say that again. The steady cash flow builds a foundation for your average annual investment return to be increasing over time. Okay? Now, how important is the average annual investment return? You may or may not know about the rule of 72 in compounding. The true way to get rich is to have investments over time to compound so that they will increase their value and double. Okay? The rule of 72 allows you to take whatever your average annual investment return, AAIR, is, divide it into 72, and that will tell you how long it will take for your portfolio to double. For instance, if your AAIR is 9%, divide 9 into 72 and you find out your portfolio will double every 8 years. If it is 6% is your AAIR, divide it into 72 and you'll find it takes 12 years for your portfolio to double. Now, Wall Street tells you and everyone else, particularly to the younger people involved in investing, oh, gee, take some high risk. Buy this pie in the sky, hope and a prayer type of company. And if it works, you'll become a zillionaire. If it doesn't work, well, you still have time to make up for it. That's not necessarily exactly correct. All right? And let me show you why. Suppose you're 25 years old and you have either made or inherited $50,000. And your AAIR, will make this easy on me, will say is 7.2%, which means that your portfolio doubles every 10 years. All right? Now, at 25, you have $50,000. At 35, you have $100,000. At 45, you have $200,000. At 55, you have $400,000. And at 65, you have $800,000. Excuse me. Now, you can go to page 52 and follow along with this. Suppose you took Wall Street's advice and you went into some high-risk speculation and you lost 10,000 of that dollars. All right? So instead of now having $50,000 at age 25, you have only $40,000. But Wall Street says you can make it up. Well, again, if you have a 7.2% AAIR, you start with 40,000 at 25. At 35, you have 80,000. At 45, you have 160,000. At 55, you have 320,000. And at 65, you have 640,000. Well, wait a minute. If you had not done the speculation and lost the money, you would have $800,000. So the difference now is that at retirement age, you have $160,000 less because you lost $10,000 when you were 25. Now, how does Wall Street say that you have time to make it up? That's what is wrong with the high-risk speculations that Wall Street will throw you into if you give them an opportunity. Now, let's go back and remember, AAIR, average annual investment return. It is the dividends and interest over the course of a year plus any capital appreciation, realized or unrealized, over the course of the year. Now, you can't do a thing about time, but what you can try to do is to boost your AAIR and your AA, turn it into what I called your average annual total change, AATC. Okay? So what we want to try to do is to boost the AAIR and the AATC. How do we do that? There's three ways that you can do that. One is through your own contributions to the portfolio over time. And the most important is if you are working for an employer who has a retirement account and will match your contributions to that retirement account, you make sure that you get the full employer's matching contribution. That's very important. The third way you can boost your AAIR as well as your AATC is to be careful about how you place your investments into the various investing accounts you can have. Okay? Now you know some of the critical factors in getting rich and staying rich. In the next session, we're going to spend time on how to boost the AAIR and the AATC just by using common sense. All right? Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next session when we do Rules 8 and 9.